What's up, guys? I'm Amanda Sapp, VP of Media at Bread of Life, Inc., leading as General Manager of Amazing 102.5 FM, your do-good, through-good station where we're changing lives one listener at a time. Today, we're at the George R. Brown, where we are a part of the Coalition for Barrier-Free Living, the Adaptive Living Solutions Expo. In this expo today, there's going to be a panel discussion where we are finding hope and building strength. So if you're here today, if you'd like to learn more, please continue to follow the movement and be a part of the experience that we have here today. Grand Rising, everyone. If you can hear me, say, I can hear you. Oh man, we all went through the traffic. We came here battling parking. You can do better than that. If you can hear me, say, I can hear you.
I can hear you.
If you're glad to be here, I need you to say it far in the back. I'm glad to be here today.
I'm glad to be here today.
Lady in the pink, I see me and you already got something going on. I'm looking at you right there, pink, purple, whatever that color is. I see you. My name is Amanda Sapp. I am the VP of Media at Bread of Life, Inc., leading as General Manager of Amazing 102.5 FM, and I am your moderator for today. And so I'm just going to put this stand over here. Appreciate the videography team that is here setting up, making sure that we look good and that we sound good. We've got all these lights and cameras here today because what we have to say is super important to everyone, for everyone. And I'm very proud to be able to present this discussion with you today. Let me share with you a little bit about what we're here to do. Again, I want to welcome you to the Adaptive Living Solutions Expo. Here, we're not just about browsing. We're about bringing real solutions into your life. You'll get to check out the latest in adaptive technology, assistive products, and accessible home solutions, all designed to help you live more independently and confidently. And thanks to the Coalition for Barrier-Free Living's Purchase Advantage program, you won't see products. You'll actually have the chance to get what you need, bridging the gap between discovery and access. Plus, it's more than just products. We've got breakout session, interactive events, and a whole community where here working to make life more accessible, one device at a time. Can we give a round of applause to this program that's here today at this expo? All right, and the Coalition for Barrier-Free Living, Adaptive Living Solution Expo, again, is here for you to be able to take advantage of all the opportunities that are available for you, resources, information, and things like that. Now, in this discussion today, we're here to talk about finding hope and building strength. And in this conversation, we're going to talk to panelists who can share their lived experience, their expertise in the field that they are in, and how they are changing the way you see barrier-free living. And so first, I want to introduce each particular audience member here, and they are going to give me 3 words that describe them. Is that okay? My panelists, my roundtablists. The first person, she's sitting to my right. Her name is Dr. Felicia L. Morgan. All right, y'all, can y'all say, hey, girl, hey?
Hey, girl, hey. Hey, y'all.
Okay. She's a licensed specialist in school psychology with over 20 years of experience and is currently completing her postdoctoral internship while pursuing BCBA certification. She is licensed in Texas and Louisiana and remains active in Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, Inc. and the Houston Association of School of Psychologists. Dr. Felicia L. Morgan, give me 3 words to describe you.
Learning, faithful, hopeful.
Hopeful. I love that. I love that. Next, the person sitting next to her, he is a certified professional coach who specializes in transformational coaching and organizational development. After overcoming a life-altering trucking accident, he now mentors others, showing how grit, hope, and community can drive resilience and transformation. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Daryl K. Simmons. Give him a round of applause. Mr. Simmons, give me 3 words to describe you.
Purposeful, resilient, strong.
Love that. She is the executive VP at the Medical Supply House. She brings over 20 years of nursing and healthcare leadership to the DME industry. As a trusted CBFL partner, she's passionate about empowering people with greater independence through quality and medical equipment. Please welcome Ovo Juan Budike. Please give me 3 words to describe you.
Compassionate, mom, helpful.
Awesome. The next person, she's sitting to my left. She became a fierce advocate for disability rights after her son, Dontel, survived a traumatic brain injury in 2022. She now uses her journey to empower and support other families navigating life after sudden disability. Ladies and gentlemen, to my left, please welcome Alfredia Melvin. If you can grab that mic that's in front of you, give me 3 words to describe you.
Mom, strength, and love.
Next to her, this young lady has over 25 years in public education, draws her greatest insights from being a mother to a child with special needs. Her personal journey deepens her commitment to advocacy, and she's eager to share her perspective on empowering families and the broader disability community. Please welcome Linda Hewlett. Give me 3 words to describe you, Linda.
Patient, persistent, and positive.
This next person, she has spent over 20 years empowering underserved communities, drawing from her degree in business theology and educational leadership. A dynamic leader and advocate, she inspires change through strategic partnerships and programs that support vulnerable populations like seniors, foster youth, and survivors of violence. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the COO of Bread of Life, Inc., Dr. Monique Williams. Please give me 3 words to describe you, Dr. Monique.
Determined, impassioned, and safe harbor.
He is a passionate advocate for traumatic brain injury survivors, thriving over a decade after surviving a brutal attack that left him with severe injuries. Through his foundation, he empowers others, raising over $150,000 to support brain injury survivors and offering hope through his own inspiring journey of recovery. He is the founder of the Kel Strong Mabata Foundation. Please welcome Kel Mabata, Grand Rising.
Thank you.
Give me 3 words to describe you, Kel.
Purpose-driven, God-fearing, and determined.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to talk about in this first session here, understanding the impact. Now, there are a lot of you who we've just described who you are, what you do, but there are people who are listening in this audience today who may just be experiencing this disability space right now, like new to them. So they may not understand exactly what it is or what it means to impact in this community. So I would like, we will start with Daryl. Could you please help us understand the impact of living with someone with a disability?
Life changer. It really is. I think you have to be committed to that lifestyle, to that person, the things that must be done. But more importantly, the person must be committed. And they have to find the will to live, to go on, to move forward, to do, to be, to become.
Thank you for that. Now, as we talk about understanding the impact of living with someone with a disability, I'd love Alfreda to share with us a little bit about her experience and how you have been able to overcome certain challenges in that space.
Good afternoon, everyone.
And talk loudly, because I'm not sure that everyone can hear. Can you hear, guys?
Can
Okay,
y'all
great.
hear me?
They can hear you.
But can y'all hear me? Okay. 2 years ago, my son was involved in a car accident. So this is very new to us. It's been a challenge because I'm his voice now. You see in the community that there's not enough resources, and it's disheartening. I'm going to be the one to make change. I'm going to be the one on Capitol Hill and say, no, this is what needs to happen. Because it is very, very sad that our disability population goes unnoticed. You can go into the store. Can I get his wheelchair in there? No, I can't, because the door's not wide enough, or there's not a push button door that's going to open, an electronic door. So it's sad. So I'm here to make change.
She's here to make change. And I want to share, as we talk about challenges, as we were getting ready for today, what it's like to take on that person's, your family member's disability and not make it yours. How have you been able to separate what has happened with your son and also be able to maintain your own independent individuality? Or is that even an option?
Kind of, sort of. But first off, I had to heal, because it's a traumatic experience when you are not ready for it. But I also had to give myself grace and take a step back and understand that in order for me to lead and take care of him, I have to be positive. I have to be motivating. If my energy is bad, then he's going to have a bad day because he's going to feed off my energy. So I had to take a step back and understand that, okay, I have to give myself grace.
Is there anybody in the audience that can understand this, that can relate to this? I see 2 people, 3 in the back. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
Dr. Monique, as a COO of Bread of Life, Inc., how is it that you are able to communicate with members or clients who come into the organization, maybe needing support? What are some challenges that you may face in your approach and how to connect the dots and do it in a way that is of love, hope, dignity, and belonging?
Absolutely. Thank you for, first of all, allowing us to be at the table. Those of us who've not had the lived experience, but we do our best to live alongside and support you. So it is an absolute honor. I think it begins with the people who are giving the support. It begins with the staff. So in an organization where you have people who are just kind of doing good things and good work, I think we get kind of caught up in the process. Let's just get things done quickly. Efficiency. And I find myself as a leader doing my best to train or to provide training for staff in areas of compassion or trauma-informed care or mental health, first aid, which we did very recently. I find that if we have a staff that actually walks and embraces the compassion that's needed, then we don't have to do a whole lot of fixing when it's time for us to serve a community of mixed needs. So it starts there. It starts in the mission, and it starts with training, and then follow up and follow through. I tell people all the time that the work that we do and the service that we provide, it's not rocket science. I won't ever stop somebody from coming to wanting to do good work, but I will stop somebody who cannot be compassionate and attentive to the needs of people who we're serving.
We're talking about the impact and the challenges that are faced as it relates to dealing with or having someone who has a disability. Linda, you are a caregiver to someone with a disability. Am I correct on that? Share a little bit about your experience and what are those challenges and how have you been able to maneuver through that?
Okay, I'm the mother to 2 wonderful children. My youngest child has special needs. He has a cortical visual impairment. I think the most important thing for us as we went through each stage of development was to surround ourselves and find our community. So whether that be professionals or family or friends, especially other parents who were going through similar situations, that was invaluable to us. So finding that community and finding the support for when it was harder for me to show up, they helped me show up or showed up for me. So I think that was the most important thing for us is our community.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Now, Kel, I see you have your foundation, the Kel Strong Mabata Foundation. Now, as Linda is talking about finding your community, did you start your own organization because you couldn't find a community, or why did you start your own foundation?
Well, about 5 years ago, 2 of my high school friends, they came up to me and they told me I should be doing something bigger than I was currently doing at the moment. Because I was sharing my story, but they're like, no, you need something big. So they brought the idea of why don't I start a foundation? But at the time, I was like, no, what are you talking about? I'm focused on my recovery. I don't have time to run a foundation. But they told me, like, listen, we can start small and then we can grow as you want to. Then I thought about it, and I thought about my purpose of still being here. I was like, okay, let's do it. But during my time, so I was a patient at TIER Memorial Hermann, and during my time at TIER, like I would hear patients, and then patients would come up to me and say, oh, my insurance only gave me like 6 visits for the year. And in some instances, they don't have insurance at all. And I don't feel like health insurance, like they don't know what all it takes to recover from a brain injury. They think it's just in and out. It's not. It's very long. It's lifelong. And it's a marathon, not a sprint. And it's very expensive. And in most cases, like they don't want to cover the necessary things to cover. And outside health insurance, which isn't always good, there's not many resources where one can go to to fund brain injury rehabilitation. So that's where I came in. And my foundation is filling that void.
Ovo, as we're talking about challenges and the impact, and you've heard some of the stories here about these leaders' approach to dealing with someone with disabilities, and Linda mentioned resources. What are the challenges that you've seen caregivers have when it comes to trying to get the medical supplies that they may need for what they have happening at home?
Caregivers talk about not getting the right equipment that they need, the medical equipment they need to help take care of their loved ones. Where does the loved one sleep? How do they eat? How do they take a bath? How do they go to the toilet? Things like that. What everyone will take as normal activities of daily living becomes extraordinarily difficult. So that's where we step in. The insurance will cover equipment to an extent, and that's it. Or the quality of the equipment you're looking to get, insurance is not going to cover it. We get denials. So that's where we start working with agencies, foundations, and we connect our consumers with agencies that would help them. And we go to the homes and see exactly what's going on so we could explain to the agencies or to the foundations what the caregivers are actually going through, because the insurances don't really know what the caregivers are going through.
So can any of you share today, what are ways to approach agencies, and how can we ask better questions to get the things we need?
Being a caregiver with a medical background, I'm a little bit different because I know how to approach. But when you don't have that medical terminology, that medical background, it becomes difficult. So it's almost like you need an advocate to help you. Or in layman terms, can you break it down exactly what I need and what I'm looking for? So sometimes you have to have help or a resource that's available to you to get what you need.
Where do we get advocates from? Who do we have to come with us to help us speak for us or write for us or whatever the term of the person is to help us get what we need? Anybody?
Your village.
The village.
The village. If you have a village that's standing behind you and they help you on a day-to-day basis, put together a plan of action that you need or a plan of care that you need for your loved one and go take it that route.
Dr. Monique Williams, I know you work closely with the communications department there at Bread of Life, Inc. Tell us about how you think the best approach can be to someone who is needing resources available.
I think that for those of us who are walking alongside, we need to be open to a clarity of explanation, right? So we often sit here and we try to we have terms like mansplain if a male is explaining something, right? Or we have different terms that we use. I don't know what the terminology is, but we tend to want to give you language for your experience. And I think it requires some silence and some listening and some questioning and some learning from the side of those who have not been in it. I have found that we tend to want to be the ones to feel like we've got it, and you just can never have it all. And so I find that when we are communicating, what we do have available, and also to particular populations, we have to actually start with the silence and open both ears and make sure that we're hearing what the need is before we decide, well, we have big hearts. Here's this great thing. And you're like, that's nice, but that's not what we asked for. We want to give you what you asked for.
So I agree with everything that's been said, but I'm going to come at it a little bit differently because I've been doing this for 40 years. I was injured 40 years ago. One of the things that I've learned is do your homework. Before you engage with an insurance company, with any entity that's going to give you something, go do your homework. Know the rules of engagement before you pick up that phone and talk to anybody. Many of these programs that are in place are not designed to give everybody everything. because they are dealing with limited resources themselves. And so you have to understand that. They don't care about you. They don't care about those things. They have resources that they have to dole out. So go do your homework. By that I mean, if they have a website, go to that website. Read their information. The number one thing you want to look for is eligibility. What is the criterion for them to give me something? And know what it is and understand it very well. Read it 2 or 3 times to make sure you understand it and you meet the eligibility requirements, because if you don't meet the eligibility requirements, you will be cut right from the top. And from the opening conversation, you won't get to a second conversation. So you have to know those things. The other thing is you have to believe you can do this and believe that whatever happens, I can handle it. So part of it is knowing how to read and read with understanding of the information that you're dealing with. Then approach your community if you have one, those people that can support you to do the things you do. If you know other people who are similarly situated, be in conversation with them about what they did to get what you're trying to get, so you can get further insights in terms of how to deal with them. But know the rules first and then jump in and play the game. Also, when you go in and you interact with them, listen. Listen, listen, listen. The conversation is not about you. It's an interaction. You need to understand, what are they saying to me? What do they mean? So that means when you sit in and you sit down and you talk to them, you have to stop talking in your head. And you have to not let your feelings get in the way of what they say, because they may not want, because they might not agree to do what you want. You can't let that get in the way. You have to be strategic in how you approach them and to have a better chance to get what you want.
For those that come to us, Therapy Supply House, we would look at the diagnosis, we will ask history, we'll look at family caregivers, and then we'll refer you to a foundation that we think will be able to help you. If you think that foundation is not able to help you, you can come back to us and we can refer you to another one. So being able to look at your diagnosis, your age, your demographics, and all of that will be able to refer you to someone or to an agency or foundation that may be able to help.
What type of medical supplies does the medical supply house offer?
Respiratory equipment, which includes oxygen, CPAPs. We also do rehab equipment, so beds, wheelchair, rollators, just anything that gives you independence and dignity staying in place at home.
Thank you, Ovo.
I'm sorry, I don't want to dominate the conversation, but I want to add something because I was in the mayor's office for 5 years after I graduated from law school. And I did policy work on behalf of 2 mayors. And so I got a chance to see the kind of issue that we're talking about here from a consumer standpoint, but also from the one who gives out the resources. The last thing I want to add to everything that has been said is, once you get past dealing with a machine and you're dealing with a human being, remember, you're dealing with a human being. So don't go in talking crazy to these people. Avoid that, because it's about relationship. It's about building a relationship. And it's not about going and begging and crying and doing all those things. It's about establishing a deep and meaningful interaction with that person so they'll be more likely to help you get the outcome that you're looking for.
Hi, this is a roundtable discussion, everyone. We're here to talk about the things that affect you as a caregiver or someone that you love that has a disability. I want to jump to the next segment, which is personal and family stories of survival. I'd love to find out from you, Alfreda, what was life like before your son's disability? What was it like after the disability? And does any of what anyone has said resonate with you? And how have you been able to deal with that?
Before the disability, we were normal people. And when I say normal, he was a thriving teenager going into his junior year of high school. So I had no concerns. If you had asked me 2.5 years ago, would this be my life today? I would have told you absolutely not. After the disability, after his car accident, I was angry. And I was that one that didn't listen. I was that one that lashed out because I was angry. So I had to heal that aspect of myself. And I too, Dontel too, was also at TIER, and that's how I met Kel. But we go different phases. Going back into phase 3, which was this time last year, I did a lot of apologizing because I was angry. I was mean, and I didn't have a reason why. I did, but the the good in me knew that I was wrong. So I did a lot of apologizing. And that helped me heal that aspect of myself so that he can properly heal. Because if I'm not healed and I'm his caregiver, he's not getting the care that he needs.
Felicia, I know that you have dealt with school psychology. How does this resonate with you, and how have you seen young people who may have a disability or parents who are dealing with a child with disability?
So I would like to say that most people do not know what they're dealing with as far as when something happens to that individual, or like she said, to the family and the friends. They're dealing with post trauma. Post trauma refers to a physical state or a period that happens after a traumatic event. So at Behavioral Shift, where I'm doing my internship, we do counseling. We deal with people who deal with depression, anxiety. Sometimes that post-trauma leads to another diagnosis. Some people are diagnosed with PTSD, depending on what happened to them. So that's what we do where I'm doing my internship, and post-trauma is big. And some people just don't know what to call it. They don't know what when they're feeling, oh, I have a stomach ache because so much anxiety is going on. They have that stomach ache. They're throwing up. So those are some physical signs that's going on when we're talking about post-trauma. Another thing, we don't look at the emotional state. So there's a physical state and there's an emotional state. The emotional state is crying, isolating yourself, not talking to others. And that's not what we need to do. We need to speak out, find your tribe, and counseling is a good thing.
Thank you for sharing that. Now, Kel, we're talking about personal and family stories of survival, and we mentioned here about being able to maneuver through the system, ask the right questions, and life before and after this experience. And so tell me a little bit about how you've been able to decide that you're going to push forward, do these speaking engagements in spite of. Or are you angry at all?
You know, I always say I rather it happened to me than anybody else, like any of my friends, family, or employees at the time, because I was in the best physical shape of my life at the time to survive what I survived. According to the doctors, they told me if I wasn't in that kind of shape, there's no way I could survive what the trauma that they did to me. So no, how can I be mad? Because I know what God did for me that night in order for me to survive. So that's what helped me. Like I'm not mad. I'm glad actually because it actually made me a better person. And now I know what my purpose is. What I didn't before, no, I was just a knucklehead, you know. So now I know what my purpose is. So no, I'm not angry.
Does this resonate with any of you, what Kel is saying? I know, a lot of, like you said, you can be angry about it. He's saying, what it is. I'm glad. I'm moving forward, empowered with my purpose. I appreciate that. Now, Linda, could you explain to us a little bit about how you've been able to maneuver with children or a child with a disability, and what it means to you to be able to show up without anger or without frustration for your kids?
It was difficult in the beginning. I don't know that I would say I was angry. I think I had a harder time not having answers because I had worked in special education for so long and I was used to knowing the script. This is what's going to happen. This is where we're headed. This is our goal. And all of a sudden, I didn't have any of that anymore. We didn't have answers. Sometimes we didn't even know what questions to ask. So I think for me, coming to the realization that it's okay to not have the answers, as long as my goal is to give the best opportunities to my son and help him become the best person that he can be. So when I stopped being unhappy about not having all the answers and decided this is where we're going, however we need to get there, this is how we're gonna head this direction. things got much easier then because I still don't know where we're headed. None of us do. It's a journey for years and years. So once I made that decision, it got a lot easier.
Thank you, Linda. I want to speak to you specifically because we were talking about, you mentioned earlier about the doors not being wide enough and you're going to fight to get what you need and all that type of thing. Tell us a little bit about how you're able to make the change that you do have when you ask for what you want. I'll speak specifically to an incident at a store, a retail location.
Strength.
Please.
I'm gonna say it's strength. My very first time taking him out by myself, I said, okay, we're gonna go to the store. I noticed these doors didn't have the mechanics to open and close for a wheelchair. I wrote the CEO. I said, you want my money, then fix your doors. About a month later, after I went back, those doors was fixed. It was wheelchair accessible. So I'm determined to get whatever Dontel Gerard Jones Jr. need. I will make it happen.
And I have to say, Daryl, I have to say to you, you have an upbeat attitude. You're moving around in your chair, and you used to drive. Is that right? And you had an accident.
I drove here.
You drove here.
Yeah.
Speak a little bit about your perseverance, I would say, and
It
how
was
we can
hard.
keep. There you go.
It was incredibly hard. I had to fight for this disposition. In other words, I cried a lot. I cried a whole lot.
What were you crying about?
The death of my old life. You have to understand that the day my accident happened, I had taken a summer job in anticipation of going to dental school. And the accident occurred. I won't go into all the details. That's not the point. But Felicia talked about trauma. And I was in a rig, the rig jackknife, I was thrown out, and in a split second, my life was changed. And living a life of pain, being in a life flight ICU unit, and dealing with all of that, and just trying to come to grips with what has happened to me. My mind had a very difficult time making the shift to this new reality, right? So 6 months later, I'm still struggling with it. And so I was very suicidal. There's no shame for me about saying that because I was on the edge of life once again. Because you have to understand, the moments my accident happened, I was on the edge of life then. And I made the choice to live. I'm not kidding you. It was a conscious decision that I'm gonna stay, right? Even though I didn't know how I was gonna make it. And so a lot of what life had been a lot about, particularly during those early months, days, months, years, can I do this? And I just didn't know. I mean, it was like, anybody ever driven down a dark country road and you turn the headlights off? That's how life felt to me. It was that dark, that trauma, trying to come to grips with all that, make sense of it, and can't see a way. And so, like Kel said, that kind of extreme challenge, you either succumb to it, they call it suicide, or drugs and alcohol, or many other things, because that's the dirty little secret in our community. Suicide and drugs and alcohol, it's a big deal in our community, and understandably so, right? But because I was prepared for what I went through, I had some ideas about things that I could do to get me through it spiritually, being in conversation with myself, navigating through it. But the most important thing was to recognize that quite often people go to church and they say God is omnipotent, is omnipotent, is omnipresent. And then they make the mistake of putting parameters around what it's going to look like when it shows up. And that was the number one lesson I needed to learn, was that it could show up in any number of ways, many of them beyond my imagination. Because I met people along the way who did things to me. I had no idea I would ever meet those people, and had things done in my favor that I had no idea, but I had to make the choice to say yes. And the more I said yes, the more I learned to grow my consciousness, to open up for the myriad of ways beyond my imagination, which my blessings could come. The more I began to see step by step by step, okay, I think it's gonna be all right. One day at a time, one moment at a time, 1 year at a time. And eventually, the more I saw, the more I believed. Because that's the other part of it is you have to believe that something else is possible for you. And then set your course on doing the work to make it happen. So I gave up a lot of things to put my life back together and doing that work. And ultimately, it paid off and opened the door for good people. Now, I'm like you, Kel, kind of, in the sense that I can honestly say this has been one of the best things that could have ever happened to me. Would I choose this? Well, no. And y'all know what I'm trying to say. I won't say it. Y'all have heard the song, so y'all know what I'm trying to say out here. No, I would never choose this. But the things that I've learned, the things I've done, the things I've seen, the choices I've made, my wife, my children, it would have been, my life would have turned out very differently, right? And I'm grateful for this life. I'm happy for this life. I love this life. I love being alive, quite frankly. I mean, it's that simple because I can see the being and my becoming in all of this. So, okay,
Thank you for that, Daryl.
Amen, brother, amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're at the Coalition for Barrier-Free Living, Inc. Adaptive Living Solutions Expo here at George R. Brown Convention Center. And I heard you, Daryl, talk about your battle with suicide. Do caregivers ever have that idea of suicidal thoughts?
I'm not going to say suicidal, but you go into a dark place, a very dark place. And it's challenging, but therapy, I love my therapist. And I'm going to tell anybody, go to therapy. If you can't talk to nobody and talk to God, go to therapy because it helps. And that's what helped me.
Linda, can you speak to this?
Well, yes and no. Nowadays, I hear that a lot. I hear people say, therapy is wonderful, get a great therapist. I've been walking this journey for 20 years when my son was born, and 20 years ago, that was not the case. You didn't hear people say that 20 years ago. I think for us, my son and I tell each other a lot that happiness is a choice. Every day, you have to choose happiness. It doesn't matter what your circumstances are. You have to make a decision that today, I'm going to make the best of this day and be as happy as I can possibly be. Yeah. So that's how we've dealt.
Thank you, Linda.
Identify that you are experiencing post-trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Once you identify that you are experiencing post-trauma, find out what you need to do to get through post-trauma.
Thank you, Felicia. We love that. Daryl?
Felicia, break it down. Tell them what it looks like when you're going through post-trauma so people can know.
Yes, so like I spoke about this earlier, just hit a little tidbits, but that post-trauma, when you're going through post-trauma, like I said before, there are some physical things that you go through. The physical things, the stomach aches, the crying, the not wanting to talk on the phone when you was talking on the phone with these people before and you're just like avoiding everybody, not responding to text messages, that type of stuff. So the physical stuff, you have to find a way to get through and get back to your old self. With the emotional piece of it, you are depressed. You just don't want to come out the dark room because you're thinking about, Lord, why did this happen to me? I didn't deserve this. Why me? And like this young lady said, you have to find a way and determine how I'm going to get through this and become happy.
This is real stuff here we're talking about. So people need to know, like, what does it look like? So when I'm experiencing it, I know what I'm experiencing. And then the other part is, what strategies would you recommend a person use to move past it? I know for me, the first step in being able to get on with my life was to accept that bitter pill. It was a very bitter, hard pill to accept, finding myself being here after being a 6'4" athlete who was looking forward to taking his life in a direction. And now, 6 months later, when my wife, my family would go to dinner with me, by then I was skin on bones. You know, by then I'm an ex-athlete with a sculptured body and just the whole 9 yards. 6 months later, I'm skin on bones, and everybody that I talk to, I have to look up to them. People would discriminate against me without realizing that they were discriminating against me. For example, if we would go to a restaurant and my family and I were at the restaurant and we were at the table, I've experienced it on about 3 or 4 occasions where the waitress or the waiter would come to the table and stand right next to me and ask my family member, what does he want? All those micro inequities are some of the little things that people, I don't think she didn't mean that. They didn't mean any harm by it. They just never thought about it. But you have to be careful about how you interpret and internalize those actions, because that's a part, and you add that on top of what you're already struggling with. And those are part of the things that can help to push a person over the edge. So I'm gonna come back to my question. And my question is, what strategies would you recommend to people to help somebody get past it?
I would advise a person that has experienced a traumatic event to talk about it. You have to build yourself up and get to that place to be able to talk about it and share your feelings. No, you're not going to share your feelings with the world, but find that one person or your tribe of people that you feel comfortable at any time that you can talk about it. Talking instead of holding it in does a whole lot. Make that person, let that person know when you're making that phone call, hey, I just want to talk about it. I just need you to listen today. But then, maybe on the next phone call, hey, I talked to you about some things. Now I'm ready to welcome your advice. So what you think I should do? What's my next step? Tell me what I need to do. Help me get this wheelchair that I need. So you have to be able to talk about it and welcome advice. And my last piece is what you experienced at the restaurant. It is okay to educate people. That gets it makes you feel good when a person understands you. So educate people. When people are staring and looking or whatever, it is okay to say, hey, I saw you looking at me. Call them. This is what I've been through. You may not say the whole story, but this is what I'm experiencing. Hey, I need you to educate your people about what I've been through so the message can get spread along. So educate people.
Let me tell you guys a little bit, too, about the Coalition for Barrier-Free Living. They were founded in 1975 by people with disabilities. The Coalition for Barrier-Free Living has been a powerful advocate for accessibility, winning major victories like downtown curb cuts and accessible transportation. Coalition for Barrier-Free Living opened Texas' first Center for Independent Living in 1978 and expanded with centers in Brazoria County and Fort Bend County. I also want to know, too, from a business standpoint, how hard or difficult is it to actually begin your own foundation or start your own nonprofit as it relates to people with disabilities? Is it a difficult transition? Is it just as hard as getting any other business? Do you have to prove that you have a disability to start a foundation? Can anyone speak to that?
Yeah, I would say running a foundation and running a business is like the same thing. It's just really the hardest thing is like raising money, like anything. So you have to be strategic with how you raise the money, and like the way we raise most of our money is through fundraisers. Like we have a big one next Saturday, our first gala. So I've been busy planning that. All the stress planning that the gala is getting to me. So
when is the gala? What is it called? And who can come?
it's the gala is next Saturday. It's called the Kel Strong Foundation Gala. It's at Big Brothers Big Sisters, and it starts at 7 p.m. and anyone can come. You can if you go on our website at Kel Strong Foundation, you can buy tickets, but anyone can come. And that night, we're going to honor our scholarship recipients. Like Alfreda, his son is one of our scholarship recipients.
Right. Okay. Thank you for sharing that with us. And the website where we can find out more.
Yes, KelsonFoundation.com.
Thank you. Now, as we talk about raising funds and money, because that's important too, I don't know. I have a brother with Mobiline syndrome. And I have always been raised to treat him as I would treat anybody else. And to me, he is smart. He knows everyone's phone number. He is very good with numbers, period. And he remembers everything. He genuinely is, what is it, an elephant that can remember? He doesn't forget, right? And but as it relates, my dad, he was electrical engineer at Citgo Petroleum. So certain things were set in place where financially we were supported and whatever they needed. However, I know that everyone does not share that same experience. How do you get funds to support your family who now has a new dynamic as it relates to having a child with disability? Or even how do we get money to buy the supplies that we need for the services in case insurance doesn't cover it? So there's a lot of questions that I'm asking. We're talking about money here. How do we get it? How do we sustain?
So I've always been a hustler by nature. I was a single parent for a number of years, so I had about 3 jobs. I saved. Growing up in a household of 6, I never wanted my kids to go without, so I always saved. When Dontel's accident happened, we did a small fundraiser, but also had a savings just in case. I depleted that in the first year, paying for transportation. I had no idea that medical transportation was that expensive. Then you meet some amazing people on your journey. Whatever journey you're on, I met Kel. Kel and I kind of shared the same view on a lot of things when it comes to insurance. Because if you don't know, they don't cover a lot. I fought SSI for a number of years because I wasn't willing to stop working my 9 to 5 for $967 a month in Medicaid. So I pushed my employer to the limit. I challenged them. So a lot of things I was able to get covered by my insurance company because I know the avenues to go. You have all sorts of rights when you're told no. You can appeal. And then bottom line, if they say no, you can sue your employer. But who wants to do that if they're paying your bills? But I saved. I've always been a saver, but like I say early on, I depleted my savings account. We just recently got approved for SSI, so it's helped. But you have to know what resources are available to you. A lot of the times what I find is they're hidden. They are hidden and you just don't know until you start talking. And I'm one now, I talk to everybody.
I want y'all to hear this. www.breaduplifeinc.org in order to help balance budgets and support any of us who are trying to make our checks go further than they currently do. We do have food and supply distributions available for the entire community every first and third Saturday. We offer, you can drive up contactless, so we just put stuff inside of your vehicle. We do have community health workers that can schedule you with MetroLift. We also have a walk-up, so we try to prevent as many barriers as possible to getting these supplies. The supplies include fresh food from Houston Food Bank, as well as hygiene and household supplies for your homes, and that's what we actually have in our warehouse. We are growing our pantry, which is another space that people can get items that they need for daily living. We have behavioral health that is on a sliding scale that we are just beginning to provide to the community as well. We have education opportunities that are short, 12 weeks of education right in our main building that allow everybody to come and learn to become a phlebotomist, if that is something you're interested in, or community health worker. All these things are always provided we have had grants before that would cover everything at no cost. And when we don't have a grant to cover it, we might have a small cost, but we're consistently looking for more money to make it available for the full community. So www.breaduplifeinc.org is a great resource resource for support, as well as our socials, which is Instagram at Bread of Life HTX. And you can DM and ask questions, but we want you to know it's available for you at any time.
We're giving resources. We have information for you. And now is your time to ask any question that you may. Maybe it's personal to you. Maybe it's you have someone you're dealing with that has a disability. Maybe you have a disability. I don't know. But now is the time for you to ask questions to these amazing panelists. Do I have a person that can give a mic to someone in the back?
I have to go. All right. My name is Dennis Wayne Boignet. I'm 58 years old. Also, I would like to share that I'm a recovering addict, but under turning my life over to God, I want to get my education. The only part I went to school is the 10th grade. I would like to achieve my GED. If y'all are able to help with that or get some assistance in then trying to achieve that.
I know that Bread of Life Inc. is working on some things potentially in the near future. So please connect with Dr. Monique, sir. She may be able to help you with that.
We are here today because we are looking to be able to provide each and every person that comes to this event an opportunity to understand that resources are available for you. At the Coalition, we have a program that allows us to be able to assist you in developing your goals and achieving those goals. If you want your GED, call us. We'll put you on the path. We also have an opportunity to be able to help people to find the pathway to be able to deal with the financial and the legal implications of trying to take care of someone who has a disability. Oftentimes, we are looking for people in the wrong places. We already know that it's expensive to get law help, legal help, all of the things that are required to be able to set ourselves up for success in this journey that we're on. Fortunately, CBFL has an executive director that's an attorney. So here's what we do. We set up an appointment for you to become a part of our program. And when you become a part of our program, you are exposed to everything that we offer as an agency. I am 110% committed to every person that we serve here in this agency. So I want you to know something. When you come to our office, you are making an appointment to come and talk to me. I don't practice it for our consumers, but I can tell you the pathway. I can help you get connected. There are other resources through other nonprofits that do the very work that you're asking about. And what we need is to have resources available to us. When you come into an environment such as this, what you are doing is saying, can you help me? And what I am offering to you today is to know that we can. And if we don't have all of the answers, we are going to go in search of the best that we can provide. Every person that is here as a consumer, I need you to understand something. Coalition does not do what we do because this is a transaction. We do it because it's a relationship. We are here to help you find your way in life. In life, value of your life is just as important as any other person sitting in any big White House anywhere in this country. Be clear about something here. You matter. The things that we do with our agency, we do them because we want you to feel that way about yourself, not because we're just doing something to spend $1 here and spend $1 there. We are doing this because life matters for you. We want you to try something you've never tried before. The bikes are here not to be afraid of. We are adaptive biking. It's for you. Try it. When you leave out of this room, nobody's going to say that to you. Here I am inviting you to be a part of that because it's for you. I want you to understand how much you matter in this world, how important it is for you to speak up and live loudly. There isn't a thing that I'm not going to try to do for the people that come to our agency and looking to try to find answers for you. We don't find them all. There's no way that we can find them all. But I want you to understand we're going to do everything that we can to try to help you. Part of that is when we step outside of our comfort zone as an agency and we walk into the doors of yet another sister agency, and we say we want to meet you. Hello, I'm Dr. Stephanie Simmons, and I want to know who you are. We met Bread of Life doing just that. We are partners in this fight just because we decided to have a conversation. What they offer to you, we're going to lead you to their door if it's what you need. And our hope is that they do the same if it's something someone that's in their doors needs from us. The idea here is to get in the community. We want you in the community, not reading about it, not listening to it from afar. We want you in it. When you're in the community, you help us to be able to define what it is you need. Everyone's needs are different. We can't support everybody for everything. But the more we know, the more we grow. The harder we fight. We're advocates. So let's be clear about something. We fight. Every person on my staff will tell you she's a fighter. I'm not going down without somebody getting hit. We all gonna go together. It's going to happen because it's important for us to be seen. And we have to make noise to be seen. We have to actually, listen, the noise that we made 20 years ago is different than the noise that we're making today. It is different. It is different. That means we have different kind of partners. We are aligned for different things at different times. You know, when I was young, I used to hear my parents say something like, how did that saying go? It was a little bit of the space of, you know, politics and special kinds of friends. You know how they go, you know what I'm talking about? There was this saying that, you know, the bedfellows are different depending on what your needs are, right? So you might be my friend today and a foe tomorrow, but if we're aligned for our issues right now, then we'll do what we need to do to get it done. So this is a little bit of a different time. In these times, we're aligned based off of what we need, off of the things that we're going to use to be able to improve where we are and to make ground, to be able to provide for the people in our community. You are our community. And I need you to understand that when you come to us, whether you walk in the doors of a Bread of Life or you walk in the doors of a CBFL, when you come to us, you are coming to family. You're coming to those of us who want to help you be able to do something. Understand this is not just for fun. We open these doors because we intend to go back Monday morning with something new to share. We intend to go back. Everybody that knows that we are in existence understands that we're fighting for something. That does not stop. We can't win them all, but I sure as heck ain't gonna lose them all either.
Thank you, Dr. Simmons.
This is a resource book. This book is the first stab at us trying to put in one place in your hands before you leave here today, resources around this city that you can use depending on what your needs are. Please pick up one before you leave today. There's no rush. Stop at the information table and grab one. It's resources for all kinds of things. Just take your time and go through it. What you don't see here, call us and ask. But we certainly are trying to create something that allows you to be able to go home and in the comfort of your own home, use these resources to be able to do something. We will build on this book until it holds everything that we need in the state of Texas to do what we need to do for the people we love. We're here for you. Don't forget that. Okay. Hey, girl. Hey, what you doing here?
Here. Everything they are saying for Bread of Life, they help the seniors a lot. We have a program they have every third Wednesday of the month. Well, it's kind of, you have to sign up for it. And they are wonderful with the seniors. We have lunch, we have all different kind of activities. And they're really nice. You know, all of them, the ones that we talked to and the DJ over there. And we get to know everybody. But they do have programs, like they say, up there in the Bread of Life, and they try to help. So they not saying anything just to be saying it. They do help. Because with our senior program, I've been getting it a long time. But it's like I say, it's very nice. And they do reach out in the community to help everybody. So that's what I wanted to say.
That's my girl over there, y'all. She attends our Diamonds and Pearls Senior Citizens event. That is every third Wednesday of the month from 9 a.m. to 12. The Coalition for Barrier-Free Living has also been a vendor there as well. We try to provide as many resources as we can for our senior population. And also to make a shameless plug, for any of you organizations that are interested in connecting with our senior population at Bread of Life, Inc., please, please, please take one of our cards from either myself or Dr. Monique so that we can connect you with that population of seniors that we serve. Anybody else with questions directly to our panelists that are here? You got somebody with supplies, you've got support here, the co-founder of Barrier-Free Living, Coalition for Barrier-Free Living. We also have Felicia here. She's dealt with the psychology counseling. We've got Wait, because you're right here next to me. Hold on. We have got Alfredia next to us here. She can provide you support as it relates to being a parent that is dealing with a child with a disability. You got Linda here, Dr. Monique, the COO of Bread of Life Inc., Kel with the foundation here with a brain. Hold on, the Kel Strong Mabata Foundation. He's the founder there. Now is the time to ask your questions. Please, lady in purple, come on. I know you got something. We're here to support you in every way possible for anything that you need, as much as we possibly can. All of us will do. We are doers, truly. And we're here to make sure that you have the resources and information that you need to live a barrier-free life. Without any other questions, I'm going to let each panelist tell us how we can find them and how you can connect with them. We'll start with you, Kel.
Yeah, so you can find our website. Our website is at kelstrongfoundation.com, and you can find us on Instagram. My personal Instagram, if you want to follow my recovery and my recovery journey and hope it be inspired, is at K Mobata, and our foundation page is at Kel Strong Foundation.
Dr. Monique Williams, COO of Bread of Life Incorporated, www.breadoflifeinc.org. IG would be at Bread of Life HTX. Those are the best places to begin. You can email me, but do not expect, y'all email me 1,000 emails and then say, well, Dr. Monique, you said. What I'll do is connect you directly to the correct department or person who can help support you, but that would be Monique W at breadoflifeinc.org. Thank you.
I'm Linda Hewlett, and my email is lhulett9804@gmail.com, and my Instagram is Linda Hewlett.
I am Alfreda Melvin. My Facebook is Alfreda Melvin. TikTok is Dontel Strong. Instagram, it started off as my personal, but he's taken over. But it's Tinky, TINKY_moon.
My name is Dr. Felicia Morgan. I am currently working on my postdoc internship. I'm here. My supervisor is Dr. Harris. The name of her company is Shift Behavioral Health. If you're interested in counseling, testing, anything of that nature, we're here.
My name is Daryl Simmons. You can find me through CBFL.
Therapy Supply House is the name of the company. We rent and sell medical equipment, wheelchairs, hospital beds, oxygen, CPAP, medical equipment that provides independence and dignity at home. To reach us, you go to our website, www.therapysupply.com. Our phone number is 713-669-0500. If you want me or someone else to come to your home and do some assessment and talk to you and see what we can do to help, we're very open to do that.
I want to thank all of the panelists for giving us such insight today. We really enjoy all of you. One thing I wanted to ask the group of people that we have watching us today, I really want two people to give us one takeaway from their session here. We've got Kim Roxy with Lamique. I know she knows something that she could take away from this discussion.
I'm Kim Roxy, KIMROXIE. I'm the founder of Lamique Beauty. We're the first Black-owned clean makeup brand to launch onto Ulta, JCPenney, the Home Shopping Network. And I was just in the lab yesterday here in Houston. All of our makeup is made here in Houston. You should clap for that. We manufacture right here in Houston. And I was diagnosed with a form of alopecia. And so in me having a beauty brand, me showing up the way I show up is actually revolutionary. And hearing you all today just reminded me of how when you show up in your true self, how you inspire others. So I just started following Dontel Strong on TikTok. I'm always all over TikTok. We sell our products on TikTok. And I'm hearing you all. I hear Mr. Jones. I should have known he was the Boaz to Miss Stephanie. You all make a beautiful couple, power couple. And I must say that something that we look at as a struggle could be looked at as strength from others. And so, hearing all of your stories today, I must tell you, I feel stronger. So, I'm taking away from this conversation strength. That's what I'm taking away. I'm taking away strength. I'm taking away strength. Because you can't dodge life. Sometimes you might catch a stray, right? And you just say, if I wasn't over there, if I didn't do this, if. But I'll tell you that what I've learned after building a company from the ground up, after being kicked out of high school, from Madison High School, being kicked out, I know I don't look like I could have been kicked out of school, but yeah, it went down like that. To being, labeled at risk, going to alternative school, told that I was not going to be able to go to get accepted into a good college, to now just being written about in Forbes as redefining the beauty market. I'll tell you that no matter the cards that's dealt to you, you will always win.
Hello, my name is Chris Watts. How you doing?
We're fine, thank you. He said, "How you doing?"
Hi, how you doing? If you excuse me, I get started sometimes. That's my disability. I hope that's okay though. Yes, I've been diagnosed with autism ever since I was a kid, because some people don't understand that you have a disability. Some people they do treat you like trash and saying that you cannot do nothing because you have a disability, and that's not true. You can't. Don't let people tell you that you cannot not do nothing, because you can do something to achieve your goals with. And to me, like I get up and dance. I do stuff for myself. I help myself, and I'm starting to be active and start doing other activities. And I also and I know that some people probably don't understand that, because people think that you're slow and knowing that you're not. And mostly that I love socializing with people. It's all thing I do, and I love getting along with beautiful people, and mostly I I'm also joining another program called the Alexander Family Services. I also help people with disabilities, just like me. I just like to have fun, socialize. That's all I do.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. If no one else has a takeaway from today, we are going to wrap this particular session up. We want to thank the Coalition for Barrier-Free Living, Inc. for having this Adaptive Living Solutions Expo. We really appreciate all of you for joining us today. Please remember to connect with the panelists that were on this discussion today. I'm telling you, the lady in purple, the one you want to connect to. She our friend, y'all. There are resources available. Don't act like you don't know, because we told you several times. Please, 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 please connect. If you're looking for a radio station that is truly making an impact, I'm going to encourage you to check out Amazing 102.5 FM. We are your Do Good Through Good radio station, an arm to Bread of Life, Inc., our media arm to Bread of Life, Inc., where we're providing resources, information, happiness, joy, peace, love, discussions that actually help you, empower you. So please go to amazing1025fm.org to find out about the shows that are on our platform and how you can connect and hear from community members that are truly making a difference. Thank you, thank you, thank you to everyone here today. And we are ending this session here. Thank you.